How you doing? I'm going to get started on Revelation chapter 8 today. You have to bear with me on these studies because, I mean, the Jesus was Satan things are new to me too. So I'll put annotations up on things that I've missed, the stuff, and I don't claim to know everything. And but I mean, in the fact that the Kenites have been the scribes, Satan's children, for the last several thousand years, twisting these up. I mean, we're going to try to rightly divide the truth out of it as best I can. So just keep that in mind. And Revelation 8's the trumps, and so they're going to coincide with vials, as you'll see. And the Lord's day return, actual true Lord, is a dark day. Amos 5, you can check that out. 1 Corinthians 15, chapter 15, verse 51 and 2. All flesh will be turned to spirit in the blink of an eye. Also Zechariah 14, going to melt, all that. 2 Peter 3, all the elements will melt with fervent heat. So I'm going to try to keep a lot of the studies over the years that I've done, but I'm going to try to compare it to the new findings. You know, Jesus was Satan findings. You can see that in the link of descriptions. Jesus was Satan. And so let's get started. I'm going to try to decipher it the best I can. Sorry. And I pray in the name of Lord Yahweh, only truth and only wisdom. That's all we want. And let's get started. Revelation 18, in the name of Lord Yahweh. Amen. And when he had opened the seventh seal, you know, the seventh chapter with seals in your mind, trumps is like action, and vials is obviously God's wrath. When he had opened the seventh seal, there was silence in heaven about the space of a half an hour. And Revelation 12:9, Satan cast to earth, but now that teaches it hasn't happened yet and all that. Well, Jesus was Satan, it had to have happened, right? So what I'm saying is that silence in heaven half hour, Satan cast to earth, he's been here. This has already happened. So the hour of temptation has probably been this whole time since he got cast to earth, fell. That's what foundation is. When you look up the word foundation, it's fall. It's a fall. You know? So check it out. Again, the annotation in my last study, I'll probably put one up. But check out that word foundation, you'll find out it's fall. So half hour silence in heaven. So that's as they teach, all the teachers teach, that the half hour is the 7 years. Daniel chapter 9, split in half, is the hour of temptation, which is the 3.5 years. I'm just saying the 3.5 years has happened. It was Jesus standing in Satan claiming to be Jesus, standing in Jerusalem doing miracles. How long did Jesus teach for? 3.5 years. Come on, give me a break. So if that's already happened, then where we're at, you're gonna have to weigh the things out for yourselves here. I can't. The more I try cramming in to help people out, the people that do want to study, the more crazier I sound. So just keep in mind, I have to do these studies because this is what it's led me to. So I'll try to compare them to the latter, you know, the former studies. You know what I'm saying? So let's just continue on. That's the 3.5 years. Some say 5 months he'll be here, and that's split in half to 2.5 months. I'm saying that was the 3.5 years Satan was here claiming to be Jesus, teaching in Jerusalem. That's what I'm saying. And which brings us to the Logos army in the next chapter 9, which I'm saying is good angels. And you'll see why when we get to the end of this chapter here. Just bear with me and try to decipher things for yourself, because I can't keep putting a ton of stuff up for people because it makes me sound crazier. Alright, so let's continue on 2. And I saw the seventh angel which stood before God, and to them were given the 7 trumpets. 7 angels stand before God. That's Revelation 15, Revelation 5, 6. The 7 angels. The Revelation 15 is, you'll see that towards the end of the chapter, are the 7 angels, which are given the 7 vials to be dumped. And that goes along probably with the old teachers with the 4 winds are holding back, which is Revelation 7, the first verse. And yeah, so the 4 winds are holding back. So God's return is a dark day, and you'll see coming up here. Let's just continue on. The 7 angels, you can read that in Revelation 15. This is the 7th seal kicking off the 7 trumpets. I think you're going to start to see that these chapters, even though things might be twisted from Kenite scribing, 1 Chronicles 2:55, that these chapters kind of do fit one after another. If you think of it as Jesus was Satan, and at the fall, and he's been here the whole time, and then he played Jesus, and so on. And it might even be Noah's flood, because when you read Revelation 12, it cast the flood out of his mouth to destroy the woman. It was the woman, Mother Israel. What was the man-child? Well, Jesus was Satan. It wouldn't be Jesus, so the man-child would probably be Adam. The Adamic peoples of, like the woman would be Mother Israel. This is probably just as it started. So God bringing the flesh in, which would be like God and Mother Israel's child, like flesh man. And the book of Adam and Eve might help that out. I'm not sure, but just kind of keep the stuff in mind. I don't want to sound crazy, so just throwing the tidbits out there for you. When friends influencing people. Okay, so given the 7 trumpets, the 7 angels. Check that out, Revelation 15, last few verses, just prior to the 7 vials being poured, which we're going to coincide right here. You're going to see. Ready? So let's continue on with the verse 3. And another angel came and stood at the altar. Read the altar. Ezekiel 1, God come down in a spaceship, brought the altar with him, had the 4 protecting angels. Satan claims to be God, has 4 fallen angels claiming to be imposter protecting angels, Zoe. That's my interpretation on that, which I always see groups of 4 people all the time, or 5, that 5th one thrown in. In the math. You're born into Babel, the rubber bell. Ezra chapter 5, 4, 5, and 6. Okay, so he had the golden censer, another angel. Golden censer, and there was given unto him much incense, that they should offer it with prayers of the saint, all the saints, upon the golden altar which was before the throne. Now, yeah, those are the prayers of the saints. Don't ever think your prayers ain't answered. They go right to God, and they're bottled up. And you're rewarded. Revelation 14, the overcomers. 15, the beginning of the chapter, the overcomers. In Deuteronomy 32, the Song of Moses, the overcomers will be singing. This is what's taught. I'm just giving you my interpretation. Prior studies, past studies, all my years of studying, and the new teachings. So keep in mind that's being combined. I'm trying to do it without sounding crazy. Okay, so all the prayers of the saints, golden altar. 4, and the smoke of the incense which came with the prayers of the saints ascending up before God out of the angel's hand. Like I said, you can read that angel over there. The angels, the 7 angels, Revelation 15. Okay, and out of the angel's hand. 5, and the angel took the censer and filled it with the fire of the altar and cast it into the earth, and there was voices, thunderings, and lightnings, and an earthquake. And the 7 angels which had the 7 trumpets prepared themselves to sound. Now, this teaching is going to be hard to try to decipher this from the old studies and put it into new studies terms, because I can teach it in the old studies, but that would be false to me, and most likely is. So the smoke took the angel, filled it with fire from the altar, cast it to the earth. Now what would that be? That would probably be just before the trumps. So this was probably, you got to look at this in a big picture, like not in like yearly increments, but over thousands of year increments over this whole history. Because 2 Peter 3, a day with the Lord is 1,000 years with men. So you have to look at this in a bigger picture, in a spiritual picture as well. Ephesians 6, we wrestle not against flesh and blood, spiritual wickedness. Not a flesh and blood thing. So we have to keep these things in mind as we do these studies, that this is it's a lot bigger picture over a longer span of time. So this would probably have something to do with Satan being cast to earth in Revelation 12, which he's been here the whole time, the 3.5 years of Daniel 12, Daniel 9, and the revelation's taken away. More good for those who wait would be, probably the 3.5 years Jesus taught, which was Satan, Jesus teaching, Satan teaching, doing the miracles, took away that oblation. And blessed are those who wait. While on a day with the Lord is 1.48 years, the day with Daniel, Revelation 12. 1290 sets up the camp from taking away the oblation. 3.5 years he taught, 1290. And then if you times that by blessed are those who wait till the 1335th day. If you times it by a day with Daniel, which is what's taught. These ain't my teachings, these are everyone's teachings. Day with Daniel is 1.48 years. Times that by 1,335 days, which are blessed are those who wait, you come up with 1975. Jesus taught till 33 years old, which is when he would have died. which is blessed are those who wait till the 3.5 years of teaching. Then he was crucified, supposedly. You add the 33 years, you come up with 2008. Well, the calendar's roughly 5 years off. We're at 2013. Wow, how incredible is that? And look at all the things that are going on. Just something to think about. Don't write anything to do in stone. Just keep it in the back of your minds. This was Satan and 3.5 years teaching. This to me would be Satan has already been cast down. Boom, the angels are getting ready to sound. We've been seeing this. They're gathering up to war over the last 2,000 years. You've already seen the casting down. You've already seen the worship in 3.5 years. Sorry. You've already seen Revelation's taken away, sacrifice to God. Revelation, Daniel 9, because in Daniel 12, Daniel like 8 through 12. The whole thing is like just the same thing, like coinciding, just different chapters. And Nebuchadnezzar, king of Babel, wrote chapter 4 of Daniel. It might have some significance. Check it out. Amos 5 will be a dark day, God's return. And there's what I'm getting to. We're coming up here, because I believe these is actual all crammed into God's return, as you've been seeing a lot of them. But the 3 woe trumps will be, boom, God's return with the reaping angels. Revelation 9, Joel 2, which people say is the locust army of bad. Well, if the bad's here, the good's coming to reap. And they don't slip, they don't fall, and okay, so the good's always trying to make themselves look good. The bad always trying to make themselves look good, and the good always, and trying to make the good look bad. Just keep that in mind too. Little notes. Just little notes, keep it in the back of your mind. Okay, so watch this. And 7 angels will have trumpets prepare themselves to sound. Revelation 15, check it out, the last couple verses. And also 12, the 3rd, Revelation 12. And the 3rd as well. 7, the first angel sounded, and there followed hail and fire mingled with blood, and they were cast upon the earth, and the 3rd part of the trees were burnt up, and all the grass was burnt up. Trees, men. Isaiah 61, God calls us trees of righteousness. Coincide that. First angel sounded, first trump. Go to Revelation 16. First vial poured. Heard saying the 7 angels, go your ways, and pour out your vials of wrath upon the God of the earth. 2, and the first angel went and poured out his vial upon the earth, and there fell a noisome grievous sore upon men which had the mark of the beast, and upon the which worshipped his image. That's the first. So it fell the sores and all that. Okay, so the fire was poured upon what? The people. So they were worshiping Jesus the whole time. Now let's keep in mind, just before this, Satan was already been here. He's been cast. Revelation 12 coincides. He's been here. He's been worshiping that idol. Took the mark of the beast. Revelation 14. And then the ones who took the mark. The pain day and night and all that. We're not torment. I've been praying without ceasing, non-stop. Through a lot of torment. To Jesus. Through Jesus. Nothing got answered here. So I'm doing this because the visions I see, I can't explain it because it'll sound crazy. Just trust me, these are going to have to be my teachings. And that's what I got to go with. I've asked God repeatedly, and I've prayed for truth. I want people to hear truth, and that's all I want. So keep that in mind. First trump coinciding with the first seal. The first vial, First vial of... The seals might not be in chronological order, which maybe they are. But at any rate, I want to do the vials and the trumps, because we're doing trumps here. Revelation 8. So, first trump blown, boom, coincide with 16 chapter of Revelation. First vial poured, going down, and the second 8. And the second angel sounded, as it was a great mountain burning with fire cast into the sea, and a 3rd part of the sea became as blood. Revelation 16:3. Souls. And the second angel poured out his vial upon the sea, and became as blood, as a dead man, and every living soul died in the sea. Every what man died? No, every living soul. They were worshiping that image. And the sea is always people. Water is people, usually, almost all the time. In Revelation, definitely. But anyway, I'm doing a study here. Anyway, so the vial is going to coincide with that. The second angel poured out his vial upon the sea, became blood. So they're worshiping Jesus. They're turning waters to blood. In Revelation 11, they turn power to turn waters to blood. That's turning people to that Jesus. So, and so let's see. Great burning fire. So let's continue on. The 3rd part of the creatures were in the sea and had life, died, and the 3rd part of the ships were destroyed. So, and then you can see that in Revelation 18, the ships of Tarshish and the merchants and all that were they're all destroyed. Woe to Babel, Mother Babel is destroyed. Alright, so keep that all in mind. You can check that out, Revelation 18, 16 verses 3. The souls, not the actual flesh man, but souls have died because they're worshiping that image, that beast. And 666 is the image, the number, is the name that sounds out that name, Jesus. We went through. So the third party creatures, ships destroyed. 10, and the third angel sounded, and there fell a great star from heaven, burning as it were a lamp, and it fell upon a third part of the rivers and upon the fountains of waters. And the names one word, third that fell. Revelation 12. First teachings are first shall be last, last first. The third that fell was Satan in the first earth age. God destroyed Jeremiah 4, brought this one in flesh, believing God is Satan. Well, the third dragon drew a third of the sun. Revelation 16 drew a third of the dragon, drew in a third down. The beast, Jesus playing Satan playing Jesus, and then the false prophet, the teachings and the gatherings up you're seeing. They've been seen over the last 2,000 years. To the third fell. Now the third fell, I could have to agree with that. The third first being the ones that fell with Satan coming through now, or could be coming through all over the last 2,000 years here, or over all history, just spread out. But that's a whole nother teaching, that there, the third, because nonetheless, they could be the fallen angels. I know it's not taught that. Keep that in mind. If it was fallen angels, that'll open up a little bit of a picture for you of the third. The dragon drew it down. Why? From the foundations of the world. The dragon, the foundation is the fall from the foundations, and they've been running it all along. As my prior studies, Revelation 2:10, 10 days of trials of trib, day with the Lord, 1,000 years of man. 2 Peter 3, boom, 14,000 from before flesh was created. Satan falling, coming down, boom, running this the last 10,000 years. We're knocking at the door here. All right, just keep these things in mind. Don't write them in stone. So yeah, so fell a star from heaven burning. This was the third angel. So the third angel, what do we got over here? The third vial being poured, and the third angel poured out his vial on the rivers and the waters, and they became blood. And I heard the angel of the waters say, "Thou art righteous, O Lord, thou shalt be and judge thus." Now was the angel of the waters, usually Michael, is what it's taught. Michael's the archangel, is the angel over the people, the waters. And thou art righteous. Well, but they have shed the blood of the saints and the prophets, and thou hast given them blood to drink, for they are worthy. Revelation 8:11, you can back that up with. And the name of the star is called wormwood. That's taught possibly Satan. And then bitterness. And the third part of the waters became wormwood, and many men died of the waters because they were made bitter. Now, the waters. And the third part, souls died, teaching along with the false teachers, and the raptures and everything else, all the nonsense taught over so long a period of time. And so that'll coincide with that. So let's just jump up, because it's going to get a little more complex, keeping in mind that, okay, so you understand where I'm getting at. That this has been happening, okay, so I just want to leave it at that. Now the 12, the fourth angel sounded, and the third part of the sun was smitten, the third part of the moon, the third part of the stars. So the third part of them was darkened, and the day shone not for a third part of it, and the night likewise. Okay, so you got to keep this in mind. And so the third part, and I beheld angel, the third part of the sun. So what's this? God's return is a dark day. So look at, I know you're saying, well, you're crazy. Well, go to 16. Go to 16 verse 8 and check it out. The fourth angel sounded. The fourth angel. What's the fourth? Fourth angel poured out his vial upon the sun, and the power was given unto him to scorch men with fire, and men were scorched with a great heat. Sorry about the dog. Men were scorched with great heat, and it was a dark day, scorched with heat. And the son of blaspheming the name of God, which had the power of plagues over these things, repented not of his glory. They repented not. This is just prior to the fifth angel. So God's return to dark day. So this is God returning gathering, and then what's the next one? The the fifth trump, fifth vial, and the fifth vial is the seed of the beast. Satan's here. God's returning. He's starting up that action of the reaping angels of Matthew 13. You understand what I'm saying? Okay, so the sun was split in the moon, the stars, the third part of them was darkened, showing up for the third part of it, and likewise. So God returned. Dark day, Amos 5. So this is God starting to return here. Like, he's gathering up the reaping angels, Matthew 13, Joel 2. So why would that be? Because the next chapter would be the three woe trumps, the locust army. So let me just wrap this up here. Drawn out for a third, likewise. 13, and I beheld, and I heard an angel flying through the midst of heaven, saying with a loud voice, Woe, woe, woe to the inhabitants of the earth by reason of the other voices of the trumpets of the three angels which are yet to sound. And that kicks off the fifth trumps, the fifth angels. So keep that in mind, that now this is God's returning. He's gathering up. The angels are gathering. The good angels are gathering. Revelation 16, I believe it is, towards the end. Yep. And then God gathering, voices and all that, because it kicks off the end of after all the plagues are dumped, coinciding with the trumps, kicking off the vials, boom, and then you got three woes, which is actual. You've been seeing the rest of them, and then the three woes up to the fifth trump / fifth vial poured out on the beast, and then so if it's being dumped, the good angels coming to reap. Who's here? Then Satan and the bad angels are here. The angels are coming to reap. And plain and simple, so you can understand what I'm saying. So the good's at gathering, and the bad's gathering, and the bad's been gathering. God allowed everybody in all this time, and then He's coming. So, and the angels, good angels, will be reaping. So, because if the bad's here, the good's got to be here. So Revelation 17 would be God and the good angels returning, taking over the world, not the bad. So keep that in mind, and try to put those together the best you can. And I don't want to sound crazy, so I'm going to wrap the study up. There's a dog barking here, sorry about that, and a lot of noise going on, so I'm going to wrap this up here. And thanks for everything, and study shows approved every day. Rightly divide the word of truth out of these scriptures that we've been handed by the scribes, the Canaanites, Satan's children, the little offspring, 2233, Zerah, seed. John 8:44, of your father the devil, the lust of your father you will do. Scribes, 1 Chronicles 2:55, the Canaanites, the scribes. So rightly divide the word of truth out of that the best you can. I love you guys. Stick around for the future chapters. Just keep those things in mind, those pointers. I'll try to put links up. And study shows approved every day. Rightly divide the word of truth. And I pray in the name of the Lord Yahweh. Thanks for studying with me. Stick around for future studies. Thanks. In the name of the Lord Yahweh. Amen.